Yeah, I'll react to that, sure.
He's 37. 37 years old. Wayne Rooney. He has been, did he join professional soccer at like 8 years old? He's been football, he has been associated with English football for as far back as I can remember. And is that just me? Okay. Okay, let's go. Top 10 English football players all time. I'm assuming Wayne Rooney is going to be on there. I grew up playing soccer, but I've never been much of a watcher on TV. And so I'm sure there are going to be a lot of players on here that I've never heard of. I'm excited. Let's learn, shall we?
When you score a goal, it's the best feeling in the world. Well, I'm telling you, it is.
Welcome to Watch Mojo UK, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 England players of all time.
There are paintings of him that depicts him as Jesus.
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.
Guys, it was a great feeling when I was on my high school JV soccer team and I scored a goal. Imagine scaling up that feeling to like World Cup. You score a goal for your country. That must be an otherworldly feeling.
Who's your favourite England football player? Let us know below.
I guess Rooney. I don't really.
Number 10, Stanley Matthews.
A picture sufficient to identify a legend. The feat which unlaced 1,000 fullbacks.
English football would be a vastly different landscape without the talents of Matthews, and he had a host of achievements that make him one of the best we've ever produced.
There's often a running commentary going on in the game, and if somebody sort of suddenly beats about 4 players, you know, it will always be, it's like Stanley Matthews. He was the jinking winger, the person that could beat people really easy, the Messi of his day.
For starters, Matthews was the only player to be knighted whilst still playing professionally. He even won the first Ballon d'Or in 1956.
It was only in later years, that I all of a sudden realized that some of the things he did were special.
Matthews also holds the record as the oldest person to put on an England shirt at 42 years and 104 days, and to play professionally in England at 50 years and 5 days. After making his name at Stoke City and Blackpool for over 30 years, Matthews called it a career. He later ignored apartheid in South Africa to create a team of all black players known as Stan's Men. Number 9, Harry Kane.
We have a good confidence within ourselves.
More modern guy.
And have a great tournament.
The Golden has regularly been the ace up England's sleeve. With fantastic finishing from his feet and head, as well as his ability to bring others into play, Kane always gives international matches his all. In 2017, he broke Alan Shearer's record, also became Europe's leading goal scorer with 56 goals that same year, beating the likes of Messi and Ronaldo. Kane showed his quality on the biggest stage of them all when he went on to become the top goal scorer at the 2018 World Cup in Russia. Number 8, Gordon Banks. Whenever someone talks about Banks, the first image in their mind is always that save against Pelé at the 1970 World Cup.
Oh, goalkeeper.
After all, it's been called the save of the century for a good reason. First image in their mind is always that save against Pelé at the 1970 World Cup. After all, it's been called the save of the century for a good reason.
Pelé thought he'd scored with a perfect downward header, but Banks defied belief with a stunning save.
But on top of this, the Leicester City and Stoke City shot stopper was also between the sticks for the iconic 1966 win for England.
Never seen the fans in football go as crazy as they did this particular day.
In Banks' 73 appearances for the national side, England only lost 9 times.
Banks' footballing ability was recognised when he was one of the first to be inducted into the Football Hall of Fame. But perhaps the biggest honour was at Stoke City, where he was club president. A statue of him was installed to mark his achievements.
Fun fact, Banks was the first keeper since 1956 to win the FWA Footballer of the Year award in 1972. Number 7, Alan Shearer. He's one of the greatest to ever grace the Premier League.
That's another name I'm not that sure of. Obviously, although I'm not as knowledge, right, I'd still love to see whether you guys agree with the list or not. And who's that super like bulldoggy 90s English guy? Bald
On
head.
top of being captain for Newcastle, he also wore the armband for England.
To become captain of his hometown club and his country. In short, an iconic figure of English football.
Altogether, he had 63 caps and an impressive 30 goals for the Three Lions. He was physical and had a vicious shot that often found its way into the back of the net.
It's Shearer!
Oof.
Playing for Southampton, Blackburn Rovers and Newcastle United, Shearer was a monster on the pitch for defenders. In 441 Premier League appearances, Shearer is the all-time top scorer with 260 goals.
I've been in football all my life. I've got to say that nothing quite beats the days of being out there. That's what I always dreamed of. Playing at the top, playing for my country, and above all, scoring goals.
Number 6, Gary Lineker.
Here we go again, new season, new titles, new managers, new signings, but apart from that, nothing much has really changed.
It's rare for a player to go a season without picking up a booking, let alone their whole career, but that's exactly what Lineker did. For 16 years, the crisp icon didn't see a yellow or red card thrown up for him by the ref. For accomplishing this feat, he was awarded the FIFA Fair Play Award in 1990, but it's also his goal-scoring record that deserves praise. Lineker got 80 caps and 48 goals, making him one of the country's most dangerous forwards.
Lineker far side, coming in on it. Magnificent goal!
At the 1986 World Cup, although England was knocked out in the quarter-finals, he was still the tournament's top goal scorer. Whether it was Leicester City, Everton, Barcelona, Tottenham or Nagoya Krampus 8, Lineker became a legend for his finishing talents at all his clubs. Number 5, Steven Gerrard.
A Liverpool icon, he represents...
Now this is classic from like when I remember, like I will know way more players, just be familiar with more players that were on, that played during the time where I played a lot of FIFA. Like, so like 2009, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, like in that range, I'm gonna recognize you a lot more just because I played FIFA a lot at the time.
Entered his hometown club for 17 years.
Gerrard, I loved the announcer saying his name, and Lampard.
First captaining the side at 23, Stevie G has been...
Sorry, I actually want to hear the sod.
A Liverpool icon, he represented his hometown club for 17 years. First captaining the side at 23, Stevie G has been at the heart of some of the club's greatest moments.
If there was a player that represented what Liverpool is, it's Gerrard.
An international byword for bravery and, above all, belief.
He was a nightmare for the opposition, as he was a force to be reckoned with within the midfield. Stevie G fought for every ball, but had the technical skills to create chances for his side. Gerrard's performances were also a massive inspiration for his teammates.
He was a massive part of Liverpool winning the Champions League because he was leading by example.
Just look at what he did for the famous 2005 Champions League final win against AC Milan. While the Liverpool and England captain didn't always get the respect he deserved in the national setup, he was still a vital part of the machine. Gerrard accumulated a massive 114 caps with 21 goals.
It's one of the things I love about soccer in Europe is that even on the non-national stage, like you have the Champions League where teams that play in specific countries, you have a lot of countries where there are extremely great teams in each of them. And that's something that's special. I guess maybe rugby has that, nowhere near the scale. Maybe cricket too. There are a lot of countries, but no, I don't think, no, never mind. Forget about those examples. Just, it's the only one that I can think of. That's just multiple countries. You can still have like an amazing tournament. I'm reiterating myself. I think that's really cool that you can have the tournament with different countries.
Number 4, David Beckham.
Leagues.
Everyone who's old enough remembers where they were when Beckham stepped up for the special free kick against Greece that sent England to the 2002 World Cup.
Greece made it to the semis?
Magical. It was certainly a happier memory than when he was sent off in the 1998 World Cup and became a villain in the media. Yet he managed to turn that around and then some.
Yeah, it was a bit stupid and a bit crazy straight in front of the ref, but let's face it, it didn't actually do anything to him.
It was a petulant little flick, and it certainly, I don't think it should have been a sending off.
Known for his set-piece ability, Bex was also outstanding at passing and crossing. He was a dream for England's forwards. The Manchester United and Real Madrid legend received 115 caps for England and scored 17 goals.
Beckham!
Beckham's huge public profile also helped boost English football. It drew a lot more eyes to the product and brought in that delightful sponsorship
Beautiful
cash.
And Bex endorses everything. Chocolate, phones, sunglasses. More than a dozen companies pay him millions.
Number 3, Bobby Moore.
The captain with the cup.
Known for his leadership abilities, the centre-back was given the captain's band for the national side when he was only 22. From there, Moore made 108 appearances for England, 90 of them as captain. And
I just want to say about Beckham, sorry. I'm going to start over Bobby Moore here. Yeah, I don't want to disrespect him here, but just a marketer's dream. I feel like let me know if I'm wrong here. Well, obviously, he's a very attractive man. That helps a lot. He's a football player, a great football player in England, and he seems like he doesn't seem very either country or city, as we would call it here, or like you guys would call it like posh, or like he seems like he's just like I said, marketer's dream. Like it seems like there's no downside or people who did not like David Beckham, except maybe in the 98 deal, I suppose.
Sunglasses,
so Bobby Moore next.
More than a dozen companies pay him millions.
Number 3, Bobby Moore.
The captain with the cup.
Known for his leadership abilities, the centre-back was given the captain's band for the national side when he was only 22. From there, Moore made 108 appearances for England, 90 of them as captain. And, oh yeah, he was also instrumental in securing the 1966 World Cup.
If there was a golden day above all others in Bobby Moore's career, this surely was it.
The videos and photos of the defender lifting the famous trophy in the aftermath are ingrained in all English football fans. Best known for playing for West Ham United and Fulham, Moore was the first footballer awarded the BBC Sports Personality of the Year award in 1966, thanks to his World Cup heroics.
I'm staggered that all these years on, people speak so fondly of him and with such admiration.
Number 2, Wayne Rooney.
I gotta stop.
Generational teen at Everton. Number 2, Wayne Rooney. When he jumped on the scene at Everton at only 16.
You can play professional soccer at 16. Like, you used to be able to play professional basketball at 18, right? Or like when you got out of high school, but then they changed it. And now you have to like go through at least 1 year of college, I think is the rule. 16. Although soccer, what I do love about soccer, yeah, I'm calling it soccer, guys. It's just, I get it. Some people, football, what is it with your hand? I get it. Okay. But the thing about soccer is that it is a sport that, unlike American football or unlike basketball, where if you're not a grown man, you're just not gonna stand a chance, you know? But soccer is a sport where where you don't have to be super tall, you don't have to be super strong, and it's just you need to have talent and you need to be smart. And if you have those two things, or at least be smart, like in the game of football, right? And if you have those two things, and so there's such a larger pool of people. it doesn't require insane genetics to be a great player. And it is such a popular sport around the world that this is why I sort of have more respect for Messi and Ronaldo than I do have respect for like Tom Brady or LeBron James, because especially LeBron James, because if you're not 6'6" at least, right? And so you have so many more people to beat out of that sport in soccer to make it to the big leagues, and so you just have to be that much better. And so I sort of respect soccer on another level because of the amount of people you have to beat out to reach the highest level. Does that make sense?
Everyone knew that when he jumped on the scene at Everton at only 16, everyone knew they were witnessing a generational talent.
Rooney, instant control. That's amazing!
The Manchester United legend won everything in the Premier League as a forward, but sometimes in midfield. He used this experience to be a leader for England and helped carry the squad. With 120 caps and 53 goals, Rooney is the record appearance holder for the national side as an outfield player. In 2017, the United captain also became the record scorer for his club with 253 goals, beating a record that had stood since 1973. Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honourable mentions.
His name
Peter
starts with a
Shilton.
C.
With the record of 125 caps,
Hannah.
Shilton dominated the England goal for 20 years.
Heatless time, and what a save! What a monumental save by Peter Shilton.
Paul Gascoigne, known for scoring that magical goal against Scotland. Gascoigne had all the potential to be the very best until injury dashed that.
He was great to be in the group. There was no question about that. And he had high ability, of course.
Billy Wright, the Wolves defender, was the first England player to get 100 caps and set a record 90 caps as the squad's captain.
Despite being only 5'9", Billy became renowned for his excellence in the air, having developed his own way of out-jumping much taller opponents.
Ashley Cole, England's Mr. Reliable for over a decade, Cole received 107 caps and formed the backbone of the team.
So I've been
Never heard the term cap
for 12 years playing for England, and so I've gone for a few managers. But to know that I've always been in the squads and played and gone to tournaments, it makes you do realise that maybe you have done a good job for your clubs as well.
Number 1, Bobby Charlton. Another member of the 1966 England squad, Charlton, and his famous comb over, was one of the best players not just in England, but in the
Rocket,
world.
man, screw it.
During the sixth over, was one of the best players not just in England, but in the world during the 60s.
But then, there could never be a better ambassador, not just for United, but for football itself, than Sir Bobby. The most successful English player of them all, and the most respected sportsman these four shores have ever produced.
In fact, he won the Ballon d'Or in 1966 and came second the following 2 years. Charlton rose through the ranks after surviving the Munich air disaster in 1958. He became one of the Busby Babes, then captained the great Manchester United team that went on to win the European Cup in 1968. Charlton won 106 caps for England, scoring an impressive 49 times, making him the record goal scorer until 2015.
A high pass from Sadler, and Bobby's head snicks it home.
Most of his memorable goals were rockets, fired in from a distance.
You just got to watch the goals. I mean, they're unbelievable goals.
And here comes Charlton! Oh, great goal!
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip
Can't
from
disagree or agree.
UK.
I don't know enough.
Be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified.
Really cool video. Interesting. I didn't know like 7 out of 10 of the guys on there. There's like the guy I'm thinking of. I'm not saying he was, but started with a C. I forget. 90s. Interesting video. I can't really comment on the list, but I'd love to see your guys' opinion. And if you agree or disagree, we'd love to see it. I hope you guys are all doing well, and I will see you next video. All right. Bye, guys.